Shalom Israel. It's very exciting, very good that we all are here for a purpose. And that purpose is to worship the Almighty and keep to his command. And the orientation for this night is keeping the law of Almighty Yahweh. Just as I said, it is the law that made all of us together here. From different states, different communities, different families. We become one to embrace the law of Almighty Yahweh. The law is the key point of salvation of mankind towards the kingdom. Embracing this law of Almighty Yahweh, keeping it, there's nothing that will make you not to inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. The law of its purpose is for us to keep it and be in peace with Almighty Yahweh. First of all, one will understand that keeping the law is only meant to obey Yahweh. If you obey Yahweh, you have kept his laws. And what are these his laws? In the synagogue, every Shabbat, we read about the Torah. And in every of the appointed feasts, we continue to read the law. It is the law that will draw you closer to Almighty Yahweh. If you are obeying Yahweh, you are close to him. But if you are disobeying him, you are far from him. Of course, the flesh cannot allow one to do the law. But by faith in Yahweh, you can do it. Hebrew chapter 11. Hebrew 11:6. This law was not given to us directly, to our forefathers, the Israelites. And today we are circumcised and we become part of Israel, whether in diaspora or outward. We become Israelites. But without not faith, if you don't embrace faith to this commandment, you can't obey. You can't keep. So I urge you to add faith to the command so that you can be able to keep it. Increase your faith towards Elohim so that it become easy for you to keep this command. Just as the Sabbath comes, you become happy that the Sabbath is out and your duty is to welcome it, embrace it, and worship Almighty Yahweh. Many of us is starting new with the Sabbath. In every Sabbath evening, like today, in your various house, you have to welcome the Sabbath. Welcome the Sabbath. Have stick of candle, light it, buy fruit, buy wine, celebrate the Sabbath. When you begin to practice that, the Spirit of Almighty Yahweh will draw closer to you. You have it as a celebration. In fact, if you began to do it that way, you won't exempt yourself from Sabbath. Shout hallelujah. So add faith to this command. If you add faith, it will become easy for you to keep the commandment of Almighty Yahweh. Oh yes. In Leviticus chapter 31, Yahweh said, obey my command. Do never disgrace the commandment of Almighty Yahweh. You must acknowledge Yahweh, that Yahweh is holy. And as you acknowledge Yahweh as holy, you yourself will begin to live a holy life. Stop it there. The commandment of Yahweh has given. He wants you to keep it. We are here because of his commandment. True or false? And you should not accept yourself in other ones. If you should embrace the Pesach, the Sukkot, and all the rest. Remember all the other commandments that have been given unto us. We have the 613 given laws, which in every of our gathering, in every appointed feast, we read it out. And the 10 commandments which we are having is divided into two. One part is for our mighty Yahweh, and one part is for mankind. As you keep the commandment of Almighty Yahweh, so you have to keep the commandment of man. Shout hallelujah. And this commandment is very vital in our life. When you began to keep this commandment, you be in love. You will be in love with Almighty Yahweh. Yahweh will love you because he loves his commandment. And whatever you ask him to do for you, he will do it for you. But if you go back, if you are not close to his commandment, it will become as if you are not part of his son. So as dear sons and daughters of Yahweh, we are obligated to keep the commandment of Yahweh our Elohim. John chapter 2. Epistle of John chapter 2 verse 7. I am not giving you a new commandment. We are not embracing a new commandment. Yes. The old one that was given to Moshe at Mountain Sinai. That is the commandment we are operating. It's still that new commandment that Yeshua gave to his disciples. And we are his disciples. Yes. Since the beginning, we have been hearing about this commandment. And today is still on. Nothing has divided it out. Nothing has taken it out. So if you continue with this commandment, your farewell is good. Is it finished? It's the message you have heard, that we should keep the commandment of Yahweh so that it shall be well with us. Shout hallelujah. I want this to go well for me. So I wish you. And so Almighty Yahweh wish every one of us that things all go well for us. That we began to produce good results. That when men see us, They will say, which people are these? The people of light of Yahweh. And it become an honor unto Almighty Yahweh. And glory to him. And you yourself will be elevated. We must be intact with the law of Almighty Yahweh. We must never play with it. It is a key to our success, a key to our life. So if you didn't abide with it, it means you don't want your good wish, which Almighty Yahweh will wish for you. Shalom Israel. John chapter 14. 15 and 21. If you love Yahweh, keep his commandment. If you love him, and you must love him, you must love Yahweh. That's what he wants from us. For us to love him and keep his commandment. Then 21. We have it. The law is with us. Why we read it every time. It's being read in our synagogue every Shabbat and every of the appointed time. We love that. And it's only our duty to accomplish what is written in it, to perform it. That is the demand from Almighty Yahweh. Yes. Yahweh will love you. And if Yahweh loves you, who can be against you? Yahweh will love you. No person can be against you. No person can do you any harm. No person will take your right. Elohim is Elohim. He spoke and he performed what he spoke at. Yes. Yahweh will manifest himself to you. In any form you demand from him, in anything you request from him, he will make manifest himself to you. He will answer you. He will bless you. He will care for you. He will lead you through and give you victory. In Yahushua's name.